All right, so today we are emptying my Google Drive. As you can see, I have over 16 gigs used of 15, that's 106% used. We're not entirely sure why my storage is out because I am supposed to have Google One, which is unlimited storage, but that's not really the point of why we're going to discuss this today. The reason that I want to talk to you about this is because a clogged up inbox, whether it's completely full or just a little bit high, is really a sign of some energy leaks that we want to take care of. So think of this as not just housekeeping for your inbox, but also for your life in general. So the first thing we want to do, we want to scroll down to promotions. Okay. And the first thing we want to do, the first thing that sticks out to me is this I Heart Dogs Birthday Club. I just don't need to save any of those emails. So you're going to right click. You're going to copy that email, right? So hover over it. You're going to right click, copy email address. You're going to paste it into that search bar. Okay. Then you can go up to this little box here and you can erase that. Now this is, I haven't opened these in a while, but this is something that I do read. I do, use this website from time to time. So I'm going to keep that subscription. I'm going to go back, and it looks a little bit willy-nilly, but I'm really just going to what draws my eye. Okay, now I've got this Rise New York. It looks like it's a New York City exhibit. I really don't think that it's something I need to hold on to. Although I don't live near New York City, it's just not something I plan to go to. All right, it looks like it's from the King Tut experience, which I attended years ago. So we're going to go all the way to the bottom. We're going to unsubscribe. We don't have to do these surveys, so unless something you really want to give feedback on, don't feel like you have to. Scroll back up to the top, click the back arrow to get back to the search results, and there you go. You can continue to delete. Now, this is a process, okay? This is something that takes time. Now, Tom's, okay? Tom's shoes. We love Tom's shoes. I have a couple pair. You do not need to keep every announcement from Tom's shoes. However, surprise sale. Let's say that there's an item I want to keep, right? So I can drag it over to another area, another category. I'm not going to do that with this one, but we're just going to go ahead and delete. Go back to promotions. Pampered Chef. Really have no need to keep my Pampered Chef emails right now. Love Pampered Chef, but because we are hoping to move in the next year or two, these are just some things that I don't need to hold on to for this moment. I will keep that subscription. So as you go through, it may feel a little willy-nilly at first, but as you keep going through it, you'll start to really see what sticks out to you, what you kind of want to get rid of, and kind of what you want to keep. Now, this one is, okay, so we are unsubscribed. Beautiful. So we're going to go back. We're going to get rid of all of these. You can see that promotions has already gone down to only 102 billion. So really good stuff. Okay, this is a great company for education materials, for teachers especially. It's really fantastic. Okay, love them so much, but I don't need to purchase from them right now. I'm not in the classroom this year. I've not left teaching, but I don't have my own classroom, so I don't need to purchase these things. Now, periodically, you're going to want to go to your spam and your trash folders. You're going to erase them. And here's a little pro tip. You're going to refresh your trash after you empty it. And you'll see we're down to 15.99 already. Now let's go back to promotions. We're going to click over here to oldest. Okay, so this is the count. Now I see here I already have gotten rid of Arbonne. We need to delete that. Okay. So we're going to click over here on this number. You see it allows you to sort newest to oldest. So I can sort from the oldest, and I can kind of see like what some of these older things were that I was receiving emails for. And this is really valuable to do sometimes because there are some times where you want to save where you don't erase from everything in the company because you want to find like 1 or 2 old emails from them. So this can be a really valuable way to find those. But it also is a really valuable way to find those energy leaks, right? Exclusively weddings. Okay. I got married years ago. Years ago. I don't have any intention of needing anything from exclusively weddings in any kind of long term. So it looks like I haven't received anything from it in a while. I'm still going to make sure I unsubscribe before I delete. Okay, and it looks like there's actually quite a few messages here, more than 50. So it'll say select all messages that match this search, and then we're going to delete all of that. Okay, after a big bulk one like that, see we're down to under 102,000. That's again a good time to empty that trash and check where you're at. Now, when you're doing an inbox clean out, you really want to do it whole scale, but you can see we're down to 15.95. So that was quite a bit of space that was taking up. And you see how that's just taking up energy that you don't need it to take up. Sometimes we sign up for emails without even realizing we've signed up for them, right? We don't even realize that we have clicked OK. Maybe we made a purchase or we signed up for a newsletter to receive some kind of free guide. What did we just do? My mom is like one of those people that signs up for every possible free thing that she can find for us. So we wind up with all kinds of nonsense. Okay. So it's really important to occasionally really go through and see what emails you're even still receiving, and really kind of vet them. Is this something you really still care to be a part of? So I think that's the first kind of piece of cleaning out your drive. Okay, we're going to keep working with this just a little bit more while we talk this through, because I do really think sometimes it's hard to even decide, do I need all of these? Okay, you guys might see I have a whole lot of old back emails from like business, like learning about business and learning about having an online business. Okay, Cheeseburger, guys. This was a restaurant that has not existed in my area in years. Okay, that needs to go. That is an old part of me that does not exist anymore. It just does not. Okay, now working mother. I am not a mother, nor am I working. For argument's sake, I'm going to actually just open a second tab here and we're going to work back and forth. And sometimes that's going to be the easiest way for you. Okay, to just kind of go ahead and get rid of some stuff. International sports, that is also not a thing that I need at all. So we are going to get rid of that. It looks like we are not subscribed anymore because our last email is from 2019, which is 3 years ago, folks. Again, we're leaking energy because we're just holding on to things that we don't need, right? This is taking us apart. If you kind of ever feel like you're pulled in 8,000 directions, guys, this is why. This is one of those things that pulls you in those 8,000 directions. It's one of those things that keeps you from feeling grounded. Okay, so that's really important. So we've kind of gotten to a place where we need to go back a little bit. Okay, Ben Greenfield. I don't even know what that is. I don't read that. So let's get rid of it. Okay, and again, I have, it says when I click on it, all 50 conversations on this page are selected. Select all conversations that match the source 1 to 50 of many, right? So this is really important to get rid of that. Okay, keep an eye on these numbers on the side. Okay, and look at how that dropped. That's a lot of emails that are just taking up space, my friends. Just taking up space. Okay, Kids Discover. This is a great magazine. It's a great resource. But guys, I don't have children and I am not in the classroom anymore. And it looks like my last email from them was from 2015 anyway. Okay, so it's really important that if this is not something you're currently using or currently need to have available to you, it's time to get rid of it. So Denise Craft, this is a bridal showcase. Guys, again, not a bride. You know, so as you're going through, you'll notice things too, right? So I don't need anything that says bridal. Okay, I don't need anything that says bridal. Get rid of it. Okay, this company OZY, we're going to get rid of that. Okay, I do not wear a hijab. I'm not sure why I'm on that mailing list. So we're going to unsubscribe. And there's no shade to someone who wears a hijab. I just don't happen to wear one. I don't need that email list. Okay. Audience rewards. I do not need right now. So let's go ahead and see where we're at with that. I do want to hold on to the subscription. I do read these. I do occasionally attend events, but right now, not so much. So we're just going to erase. Our promotions have now dropped to around 100,000, which is still ridiculous, but not nearly. And that's only the new. That doesn't even count what's been read. Okay, so keep that in mind. Hatfield Quality Meats, guys, I've been a vegetarian since 2015. I don't know why I was even receiving these emails. All right, it's only 2, but still. Okay, so we've done a little bit. We're going to go back over to trash. We're going to empty trash now. It says there's only 44 messages. I want you guys to see this. It says there's 44 messages. We know that's not true. That always baffles me. All right, quick little refresh to see where we're at. 15.92. I felt like we really got rid of a lot of messages on that round, but that's okay. And I know I'm giving you guys a look into my inbox. That's not lost on me. But it's really more important to me that you guys see this process and see kind of the, just how freeing it really can be. Okay, so we have 20 emails from this DJ that, God, I don't need, I don't use, you know, that's not something I need to worry about. Wedding warehouse. Okay, again, I don't need anything that says wedding. Okay, so we're going to copy that. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to select all conversations that have this search. Why we're still getting wedding warehouse emails into 2016 and why I saved them is beyond me. Okay, I saw something called Bride Box. Okay, we're gonna, all right, I don't see that, but that's okay. I don't need all of these FabFitFun updates. Okay, I don't need it. You open the one you need and you get rid of the rest. You can see I have opened some. Okay, but get rid of them. And it's really easy to get trapped in this, well, caught in this trap where like you're not deleting periodically, you're not reading every email. We get billions of emails a week. Literally, like if you're on one email list for one company, right? These emails come through like nobody's business. Now, if you're someone who's really kind of bold, you can literally go in and erase whole categories. I don't like to do that because I do like to take the time and kind of look at, number one, how long it's been since I've kind of gotten rid of some of these. Like you'll see some of these email addresses, I haven't received anything from them in years. Okay, this General Assembly, I think, is going to be one of those examples. Right, but we're talking about some of these bridal ones especially. Yeah, last General Assembly email was 2016. Okay, and I have one of many. So how many of these emails have been sitting around since then? Okay, you want to really make sure that you are taking your time every so often to really clean out your inbox. Okay, now we're doing this right now specifically because I really need to clean it out. Okay, but we're down to 15.9, 106%. Now, this is taking us a long time. That is not lost on me. Okay, but it's obviously something that has not been done, and it really, really can drain you in a way you don't realize. Okay, this is clutter. It's digital clutter. I know it's really easy to be like, no, this isn't this isn't like that. But no, it really is. Like, look at all these. These are from 2015, my friends. 2015. Okay, so these really need to go. So we're going to work through, right? So the sampler team, I don't know if I ever opened anything from them. Look, I have 4 emails and I didn't open a single one. Okay, the last one was from 2020. But look at that. Okay, it's entirely possible, again, that I've erased some emails from some of these since then, but it's not likely because I do like to use the same batch technique every time that I do an inbox clean out. Now, I have not done one in several months, and some are more, some are deeper than others. Okay, sometimes I've really spent a lot more time than others. Now, you guys will notice that I've left this unread Moravian College one from like 2015. We're going to look at that in a second. Okay. Now, sometimes, yeah, maybe you've purchased things along the way and you don't want to lose those downloadable files. That's fine. If you want to do something like that, there is a technique. And I'm going to show you that in a second. All right, so this unread Moravian College one from 2015, the only reason that I haven't erased this one yet was because there are multiple email addresses from Moravian College. Okay, that's where I went to school for my undergrad. And I just, as much as you can kind of go through and type in something like, moravian.edu, it's not going to get everything. So, Reed's Jewelers, I think they closed. I don't even think they exist anymore. Yeah, my last email from them, again, 2016, and I have pages. I have 1 to 50 of many. Okay, so it's really important just every so often to go ahead and clean this out. Now, again, we're going to do another check of the trash. I do not believe that at this point I am under 15 gigs, but it's really helpful to kind of see the progression. It's really helpful to kind of see how much space is coming out of your life. Okay. I am a big, big believer in this idea that that clutter is energy. It's blocking energy. It's taking energy up. I really do believe that. So if you're someone with a clogged up inbox or a clogged up digital storage, maybe you've got a bajillion of those ancient flash drives lying around. Do you guys remember those flash drives? Holy cow. And I know some people still use them. I'm not putting down flash drives, but remember how we used to have a bunch of them for everything. Empty them off and or throw them away. If you're someone who still uses them for work or for school, that's fine. But I encourage you, now if I accidentally open an email, see I'm just copying and pasting that email address regardless. If you're someone who still uses flash drives for some reason or another, I still encourage you to go ahead and clean them out periodically. If you're not someone who uses them consistently at this point, but you've got a bunch of old ones lying around, go through them, make sure that there's nothing on there that you really truly want to keep. I have one that has my master's thesis on it, and yeah, I'll keep that one around. Look, 2015 was my last email from these people. So that one I will keep, although it's probably better at this point to transfer it to some other place of storage. But it's really time to go through and get rid of some of these files. Some of the files you made 5, 10, 15 years ago, even 5 days ago, you may no longer need. And I really think that's important to think about. Okay, I really have to stop being chaotic right now. But I really think that's important to consider that some of these files, especially if you've got multiple copies of things, final, actual final times 2, I think those are really, really important to get rid of. So I just recognize that I'm being a little chaotic right now with this, so I've got to kind of go back to going all the way to the bottom. I know this feels like a lot of clicks for each step, but we really want to be thorough and intentional. And again, that's kind of why I feel like if we're just batch deleting, we're not necessarily catching everything that we need to get rid of. Okay, we really want to make sure that if this is something we're still receiving emails from, that we unsubscribe if it's not something we're reading. And if it isn't something that we're still receiving, it's something that's just old and sitting around, that we really recognize the time to get rid of it. Now, I am specifically focusing on promotions here because promotions are clearly a problem for me. Okay. I had to stop and check. I wanted to look when my last email from them was if I needed to unsubscribe. However, sometimes you're going to go through your actual personal inbox and you're going to find messages from people with whom you are no longer in contact for a variety of reasons. I'm not going to tell you have to get rid of all of them. I'm not. But I am going to tell you that it's really important to be intentional about what you keep and what you get rid of. Okay. If this is someone that things ended badly and you do not need your copies for documentation purposes, right? If things ended poorly and there's not any kind of litigation, there's no money owed or anything like that, then please get rid of them. Please get rid of them. If there's some kind of litigation, there was some kind of real hard, real big argument, real problem, where you think you might need documentation, by all means save it. But you don't have to save everything either. It's okay to get rid of some things and not others. For example, right? I had an ex-boyfriend that things ended very, very badly. And there was a whole exchange about my picking up my items from his home when we broke up, and that I wanted him to be there and he was not able to be there because not because I wanted to see him, but because I didn't want anything to be said that I took things that didn't belong to me or whatever. So I had a girlfriend go with me, and I had her take pictures and take a video. Look, we're down to 15.86. And I had her really document everything that we were doing, and we emailed him a copy of the video, and we emailed him copies of the pictures. So those I have in my email for posterity, right? I believe the statute of limitations in my state is 10 years. So for 10 years, I will keep copies of those. They are in my email because it shows that they were sent to him in correspondence, and I have a copy of that. Things like purchase receipts, you may wish to keep for a period of time, specifically whatever the warranty is on that item, whatever the return policy is on that item, whatever your warranty is. Okay, but again, that's why when we do this periodically, we want to be really intentional about reading what we are getting rid of. Okay, so you'll see I'm double checking the PayPal. These happen to all be advertisements. They stopped in 2016, which means they probably unsubscribed at that point. Okay. You'll notice that we're down under 99,000 new in promotions. That's pretty good. Okay. It does take time to do this well. It really does. I don't want to downplay that. But I really think it's important to take your time with this. Okay. We've been working on this for about 22 minutes together. You'll see already how much we've gotten rid of. But I think it's so important to be really intentional and really look through each of these various newsletters. Number one, because I want you to recognize how much you're releasing, how much you're getting rid of. But number two, I want you to really be intentional about what needs to stay and what is just truly at this point a leak or a piece of clutter. Again, I have this email list from 2016 is the last time I received a message from them. And I'm allowing this piece of my old life, of an old identity, of someone who used to receive emails from this company to just clog up my space in my life. And I really think that's so important because, especially when it comes to the past, okay? If we are not taking the time to forgive ourselves for past transgressions and make room for new, you guys, it's never going to happen. And we cannot, under any circumstances, expect another person to forgive our past or forgive mistakes or help us to move forward if we are unwilling to move forward ourselves. I also send that to others. How am I going to forgive another person and move past maybe a mistake if I can't forgive myself first? And I don't mean it has to be the same transgression, right? It doesn't have to mean that, I can't forgive, an ex for a bad breakup if I don't forgive myself for my part in it. That is true too. But if I cannot forgive myself for little things and move past little things and maybe old purchases that were a waste of money, for example, how can I expect to forgive maybe my current spouse, or how can I expect to forgive a parent or a sibling or a friend? Okay. These are all things that are really important to consider and to keep in mind. All right. That these are not going to go away if we ignore them. Right. Apparently 2015 was a big year for emails for me. 2015 and 2016, I have an awful lot of unsubscribes, I guess that must have happened, but you see that the inbox cleanout didn't come with it. It's like, for example, losing all the weight, but not throwing out your larger size clothes. Or quitting an old job, but keeping all of that paperwork and maybe the uniform shirts. All that's doing is clogging up your life. Okay? Imagine how free you'll feel when all that is gone. Now, I'm not suggesting that you're going to lose 100 pounds because you get rid of 100 emails. Don't get me wrong. I wish they were that magical. And you'll see that some of these are literally like one and done. There's one email here. But it is so, so important to take the time and be intentional. Okay? It is so important to recognize who you were. Okay? Now, I'm coming up, I see it here. I'm seeing an email that I paid into a subscription, right? Stitch Fix. I paid into Stitch Fix for quite some time, and I bought some clothes, and I sent some stuff back, but not everything, and some of it was great, and some of it was terrible, and I never wound up sending it back, and I wasted a lot of money. And so, as I'm deleting these emails, I take a minute, and I just kind of think it, and release it. It's very Marie Kondo-esque, I guess, but it's really important to think about, sometimes they serve a part of us that we don't need anymore. Now, that's not to say that you want to just get rid of everything. Sometimes you need to keep a reminder. But this is an inbox, guys. This is your email. Okay, this is not necessarily a scrapbook unless you really want it to be. In which case, I hope you have one that is literally serving the role as a scrapbook. Okay. It's really, really important to pay attention to that. It's really important to kind of notice what can go, and to forgive yourself. But also to bless it. Thank it for being part of your life and move on. Thank it for being there when you needed it or when you wanted it, and be okay with letting it go. For a while, I thought I was into science. I subscribed to Popular Science magazine. That's not who I am anymore. Thank you for being that part of my life. I'm ready to move forward. Okay. I thought I was going to be a nutritionist. Okay. Thank you for being a part of my life. It's time to move forward. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of, oh, now we can't delete messages. Great. I think we broke Google, guys. Right. We may have broken Google. All right, so we broke Gmail. We hopped over to Drive. So I want to talk very, very, very briefly about Drive. Just like your Gmail, your trash matters, okay? For some reason, this is not adding up, but that's okay. Your shared with me, if something's been shared with you, it typically does not count against your storage. Still something you want to occasionally clean out, because again, you just don't need all of it. You just don't need it. So some of this we will go through later on. Again, it's just not stuff we need to keep. So we're going to hop back over. We're going to try Gmail real quick again. And if not, then we are going to take a look at this Google Drive. All right, so we are at this point unable to get into Gmail. So we're going to take a break and come back to that. But I want to tell you guys, because I do believe in synchronicity, which is like super crazy coincidence. And since I've been doing this, I just received an email that my credit score went up by 3 points. And I also received a deposit notification for some money deposited into my account. So this is pretty cool. I think that this is a pretty good indicator that, you're making room for better. So you may not believe in all that, but I really wanted to share it with you. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back. We'll be back when Gmail decides to cooperate, because I do want to keep talking through this inbox cleanout. All right, so it appears we're back, and now we've got some things in the social tab. We can go ahead and get rid of that. Look at promotions, right? I always start with kind of what's new. Get rid of those things first. Don't need to get out the vote, that kind of thing, okay? We know storage is full, thank you. Okay, dismiss. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. I'm going to go back to oldest. And again, I really think that this is the most important place to start when you're doing a clean out. Okay, we really want to take a look at any of these really old things, anything that is just no longer part of your life. It's really, really important to be intentional. So right before we kind of shut everything down, we just done a trash empty. We're at 15.77. We're still at 105% use. You see how quickly this adds up. Now, yeah, it takes time. We've been at this almost a half hour now. But this wasn't built in a day, and it's not going to probably be cleaned out in just one sitting. But the more you can get done at one time, really the better, okay? I really think it's important to remember that, okay? So, again, I know not everyone believes in these synchronicities, but I do believe that my credit score going up 3 points during this process and my receiving a deposit into my bank account that I've been waiting on, I really do think that there's something to that. We're making room here for growth. We're making room for new things, making space. And, again, if you don't believe in that, that's fine. But, Feng Shui talks about having balance, right? That if you want to attract a partner or better balance in a relationship, that you want to make sure that your space has room for two. Having 2 nightstands, having them equidistant, having, 2 cups in the cabinet. Like, all of these things may sound a little bit silly and far-fetched, but these are things that we really want to think about. Okay, so you'll notice that I just skipped an email at the bottom of the promotions bin. Okay, there's a reason for that. I want to come back to teaching tolerance. Okay, because this is a teaching resource. And while some of them are unread, yes, I don't want to delete them all right now in a batch, because I know that there are some new emails that I did save in order to save links or resources. So I know I'm going to go back to that. Okay. I do have a little notebook here. If you accidentally open an email, make sure you discard the draft. I have a little notebook here that you guys can't see. It's off screen. And I'm making a note to return to that item. Okay. So whether I do that today or another day, I'm making a note to kind of return to it and go through it. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's see. So, all right, Seattle's best coffee. Okay. Let's go we're going to go through this one. So we're going to start by selecting all, and then we're going to scroll through. And if there's maybe one that you want to move, you can click and drag it. Maybe just one you want to uncheck. Okay, and delete the rest. It doesn't take that much longer, but I know that this is something I want to be really intentional about. I really want to take my time and work through. Okay, so we're at 15.75. We are making progress. Okay, again, my goal for today, my ultimate goal is to clean this out completely. My goal for today is to get it under 15 so that we have space to use Google Drive, use my email, okay, make some edits to some of the documents in my Drive account. So again, while our goal is to eventually get everything, we do want to give ourselves some grace. So our last email here was from April. It looks like I don't have to unsubscribe from this one, but this is Webinar Jam. If you look at the emails, so these are just webinars that I'd signed up for. So these are some ones that I want to look for as I'm going through, right? It's really making sure that I'm paying attention to what I'm getting rid of. And that's why you don't necessarily want to, for example, just type in Michael's and have it be a crafts, because you're not just getting the craft store at this point, right? You're getting anything that talks about Michael's. So we don't need Michael's craft store custom framing. And that's why we use the email addresses. Okay, that's why we use this strategy. It absolutely takes longer this way, 1,000%. But like I said, it's really important to me that we are crazy intentional about this, that we are taking our time and really, really looking at what's in here. We're taking a hard look at how we have changed, at how our lives have changed, and at what we really need to keep. Okay. It really, again, I know it's easier to just batch delete an entire inbox worth. But I also want to really honor that there was a time where I was a person who had 97 Weight Watchers emails, and good for me that I no longer need that. Good for me that I no longer need to buy Spider Tech tape, right? I think that's what that was. Good for me that I don't need to buy, certain things anymore, that I have been able to move past that part of my life. Good for me that I'm no longer thinking about buying a new car and I don't have emails now from all these car dealerships. Okay. These are things that maybe used to be important to me and are not. And I think as we're evaluating as we're evaluating our inbox, we're also evaluating our current priorities. We're evaluating what is important to us right now. What matters today that I keep? What memories matter? There are some emails in here from a friend of mine who passed away. It took me a long time to really sift through those, and I looked through and kind of erased the ones that didn't need to stick around. Not because I wanted to erase anything that my friend had sent, but some of them were, like she sent me a job opening. I didn't need to keep the job opening emails from her. I did need to keep the personal touches that she had sent. Okay. So that's where you really want to be intentional. You really want to sift through. You really want to go by email address. Because even something as simple as a magazine subscription, you want to make sure that maybe you're not missing a current bill or a payment reminder. Okay. I have a friend who did that, who blocked emails from a store that she was getting a ton of emails from, only to accidentally also block the payment reminders. And she wound up in collections because she forgot that she had to pay the card. So these are things that you really want to be careful. You really want to be cautious. You really want to take your time and be intentional. Okay. You also want to make sure that as you're doing this, that anything that you have a paid subscription to, that you are, if you're deleting emails, make sure that you're paying attention for those subscription reminders. If it's something you're no longer using and you're paying for, okay, cancel it, delete it, erase it. But do not just get rid of the emails, right? And again, that's the danger with that batch delete option. And that's why we want you to really go by email address and take the time to do this right, okay? I got a fraud alert kind of recently, and at first I said, oh yes, this is fraud, and then I had to actually call the credit card company and reverse the chargeback from it because I realized that it was something that I had subscribed to and kept forgetting about, and when it charged me with this high amount for the renewal, I had to really make sure that I, took care of that, paid attention to that. And then I set myself out to go to the actual website and cancel that subscription. And even though I've now paid for it for yet another year, I want to make sure that I'm either using it or intentional about kind of clearing that out. Okay. And when mistakes like that happen, you want to make sure you forgive yourself. Okay. So when you find things like webinars or workshops or continuing ed classes, okay, it's really important to scroll through those emails once you isolate them and make sure that there are no outstanding certificates or surveys that you have to do for those. I'm a teacher, and in the state I am a teacher in, I'm required to do a certain number of continuing education hours each year. A lot of places, a lot of jobs, you have continuing hours and you have recertifications. Please make sure that you're paying attention to those. Okay. Dorothy, your birthday thing is here. I don't know who that is. I'm not Dorothy. It's not my birthday. And that's from 2015 anyway. Okay. So you really want to make sure that you are intentional about that. Okay, Walmart Savings Catcher, guys. This has been defunct for quite some time now. So any of these emails need to go away. Okay. Any of these emails need to go away. And it is really important that periodically you do take a few minutes and read through your actual emails in your inbox, because I did lose money in a couple programs that went defunct, especially rewards programs. Yes, it was rewards money, but it was still money that was available to me that I lost out on because I did not take the time to just take a look at what was in front of me. Okay. So I really want to recognize that. Okay, so Tupac. Okay, it's funny sometimes to notice some of the emails that you have in here. Tupac's horoscope. So I'm not sure that it was the performer, but it was also not spelled the same. But the point being, you really want to kind of take a look at what emails you've got here, what information you're sharing. Where you're just letting the energy to seep in and or out of your life, where you're blocking things up. Okay. Wedding paper divas, right? So more wedding stuff. Remember, we searched wedding before. This did not come up. So it's why you want to go through this slowly and carefully and look at all of this. Okay. 1 to 50 of many. Let's watch our numbers on the side here. Okay. So, I think that it went down only by a couple hundred, but still, there was at least 200 that went down. Like, that's a lot, okay? And we really want to pay attention. Okay, so Charming Charlie, I'm pretty sure the store closed completely several years ago, okay? So again, 1 to 50 of many, okay? And, all right, come on. Clear selection. There we go. Sometimes you have to do it twice. Sometimes things don't necessarily work the way you expect. So let's go ahead and do another trash dump. So we have 1,600 emails in trash right now, and that's just what's showing up. That's not necessarily total. So we are down to 15.71. Again, it's a little bit slow going right now, but keep in mind how much we have gotten rid of. Okay, keep in mind how much we have been able to clear out. And again, some of these have more than others. Some of these email addresses only had 2 or 3 emails associated with them. Some of these had a lot more than that. Okay. This one just had 200 emails that we got rid of. Okay, that's a lot in one fell swoop. Some of this takes up more room than others. And, again, it's really important to just take your time. So again, I know for a fact that some of these businesses that I have emails from are no longer in business. People have changed their names. People have people who run digital course creators and stuff. Some of them have taken down courses and materials that you that you had access to. So some of this really you have to just kind of clear out and see what still needs to be a part of your life and what doesn't. And especially when you've got logins to some of those digital courses and from anyone, anyone that you may have purchased it from, a college, any of that, please check it when you're doing these. Make sure that you actually do still have access, because I purchased some lifetime access courses from a company that still exists, but they have kind of rebranded and they don't offer the same products anymore. And some of what I had purchased is no longer available. So there's no need for me then to save the email with the login information. Not only have I not logged into it in several years, I clearly don't need the information, especially if I haven't taken the course, but it also just continues to clog things up for me. Okay. You'll see that I have gone ahead and saved Liberty Mutual. Again, that's something that I want to go through. While it's most likely going to be, actually, let's do that now. Well, it's most likely going to be mostly promotions in the promotions box. Okay, we're going to do Hawaii first. While it's most likely to be promotions in the promotions box, you still want to be intentional about going through that. You still want to look through it, make sure that it is truly only promotional emails that you are getting rid of. Okay, so you see this email address is our customers at Liberty Mutual, which means that it may not only be, but it appears that all of these are promotional. Okay, so we really want to be cautious with that. And you'll see that that was only about 10 items. I know that I no longer purchased from this company. They make scrubs, and they had made some really easily washed clothing pieces and masks during the height of the pandemic. And as a teacher, I had really wanted to support that. So we can empty out what's left in that inbox, and I can unsubscribe. Okay. This is also a time where you want to consider what companies you still support. If you no longer support, for example, a certain hardware store chain because of their political affiliation, this is a good time to unsubscribe. This is a good time to do that hard work about really paying attention. If you are no longer a smoker, right, you want to get rid of anything related to tobacco, perhaps. Okay, again, bless that part of your life. Thank you for being part of it, or forgive yourself for it, or whatever, and go ahead and let it go. Okay, because again, it's no longer necessary. Okay. Do a quick trash dump. This says 361. We know it's more than that. We are down to 15.7. Okay, 104% used. We're still over 100%. Okay, please remember, this is not a super quick process. Now this person, Patricia Hanna, no longer works at that college. I just put her name out there, but it's okay. She no longer works there. I don't need her emails anymore. Okay. Elite Entertainment, again, some of these are places, I see at least one store here that is specific to an area I no longer live in. So I want to make sure that if I'm still subscribed, I'm unsubscribing, and that I am erasing anything I no longer need. Again, purchase receipts for things you no longer have or that are out of warranty, out of the return period, get rid of it. Especially like gift items. Save them for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever. Maybe create your own little folder for them, okay, instead of keeping them in like promotions. And then clean that out every so often. You want to maybe set a date with yourself once a month, once a week, once a day is a lot if you're someone who lets your inbox get clogged like this. I honestly tend to do it around the same time that I do my batteries for my smoke detectors and my clocks. I tend to do this stuff around daylight savings time unless I need it beforehand. So these are things that, again, pay attention to periodically. Okay, so Bumblebee, this is a tuna company. Again, great company. I have no issue with them personally. I don't eat this. So this is something that if I'm still subscribed, I want to check and get rid of. Okay, I have no problem with this company personally. I'm not aware of any reason why I should be. Thankfully, my last email was 2016. I do not have to go through the step of unsubscribing. Okay. This is an organization for educators. Okay, I do not teach this subject area right now. Okay, so this is something that I can get rid of these emails. Also, they're from 2018 and it is on technology, so I don't think I need those. Okay, so back to promotions. Hold this. Uh-oh, we're loading. I hope that we didn't run this out. Okay. So I'm just kind of going through, we'll do a little bit more together, but I really want to thank you guys for taking the time to do this for yourselves, okay? This is something that does take time. It does take a lot of effort. It is not an easy thing to do, okay? It is, it can be really challenging, especially if you're someone who thinks you need to keep all the information. You might go back and read it someday, but please do not be a digital hoarder. Please do not. All those free newsletters and PDFs that you downloaded or emailed to receive, get rid of those. Okay, so here's a really cool hack. Go to promotions and then you can type has : attachment. Okay, and so here I participated in Gish, which is a scavenger hunt, and I got a little certificate for doing it. I am going to keep this for now because I do like to print these out and put them in a scrapbook, and I do not have the time to do that today. Okay, you can go to updates and do the same thing. Okay, you can do updates has attachment, and then you can see, and I've got some receipts in here, so I'm going to hold off on that one. Okay, and you can really go through, and again, you can be a little bit willy-nilly like I showed you in the beginning, but I think the best strategy is to really be intentional, starting from the bottom, starting with that oldest, okay, and really looking. Now you'll see that our new emails and promotions are down to 96,797. That's still a ridiculous amount, like really ridiculous, but there comes a point where, we were over 100,000 on there. So that's pretty good that we got so much accomplished in under an hour. We are at the 53-minute mark. Okay, and I really want to take the time and shout that out, that it is possible to get things done in a short period of time, and that really every little bit adds up. If every time you check your email, you go ahead and do one of these, it will add up over time, but make sure that you're working at a more quick pace, at a faster pace than the emails are coming in. Okay. Again, this is an organization that I'm no longer a member of. I don't think they're even in existence. Those can go. Okay. So we're going to do a couple more of these, and then we're going to do a little trash dump, because I really want you to see the difference. I really want you to see how a little bit less than an hour can really make an impact on so much for you. And then take notice over the next couple of days, kind of where you are finding more room for yourself, finding more room, maybe more abundance coming in. Again, I know not everyone believes in that, but it's too much of a coincidence to be, or too interesting to be a coincidence, really. So we're at 15.68, we're at 104% used. We are still really high, but look at how much space we have made in such a short time. Okay. And again, you're going to know kind of as you go through, there are going to be places that you get a lot of emails from. And you can start with those if you need a quick shot of energy, a quick shot of success. I don't necessarily need that because really I just need to get this done. But it really, it really depends on you and on what your needs are. If you have the time to kind of be a little bit more patient with it and play around, then feel free to do that. But again, it really pays to take that time, go back to the old and just be intentional. Just be intentional about it. Okay. So with that, so with that, I just want to show you kind of one more thing here. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so some of these companies, when you unsubscribe, they will give you the option to adjust your settings. That one did not allow me to do that. So that's a good way, again, to just be intentional about what emails you're actually receiving, what emails you need to keep, okay, and what emails, kind of you want to continue receiving. Some of these consultant emails for various products, these people are no longer consultants with those companies. Some of these companies have gone under. So like I said, this is kind of why you want to take a minute and just go through whatever it is you need to find. I keep accidentally opening drafts up, so we're going to, again, make sure we discard those drafts. We don't want to further clog this inbox. We want to really get rid of what's here. So it's only one from this one. And then some of that, too, is a result of taking the time to sort of do this periodically. And then, sometimes you miss, or like companies will use more than one email address. We talked about that earlier, how like Liberty Mutual, for example, or your insurance company is going to have more than one email address. They're going to have maybe one for recruitment, one for retention, one for special offers. Okay, so you're going to have 3 or 4 email addresses from some companies. So it's just something that I found really helpful. I found really important to consider. Okay. Also, anything that has account information, like I said, I don't know if you necessarily want to store that in an email, but if you are going to store it as an email, maybe make a folder for it, put it someplace where you're not going to lose it, so that you go ahead and do that. So, big pens, guys. And again, if you see, most of these, I have not received a fresh email from some of these companies in years. It is 2022 at the time of recording this, and some of these I have not received emails from since 2015. So give yourself grace while you're doing this. Take breaks, take your time. Again, this was not built in a day. It is not going to get cleaned necessarily in a single day. But it is something that the more time you take, the more intentional that you work through it, the better off you're going to be. So we'll do one more delete, and then we're going to do a trash dump. I just want to show you guys kind of start to finish what we can accomplish in an hour. Okay. So we started out with 107% of our inbox. We're still at 104, but that is 3% of our inbox that we have gotten through in less than an hour. And that's with really going through and being intentional and looking at each individual email address and deleting them. Again, you can just kind of batch delete. I don't recommend that method. These are a lot of important information that you may miss. And I do think it's really important to go through, look back at who you were, who you have become, and honor that shift and that change. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I wish you much abundance. Do me a favor and in the comments below, let us know what happens when you kind of clean up your digital space. What happens for you? What changes come through? Do me a favor and let me know. So thanks so much, loves. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.